Welcome, everyone. Today, we are diving deep into Azure Storage Access, specifically focusing on how to securely configure, create, and use shared access signature tokens. Let's get started. Let us begin by defining what a shared access signature, or SAS, actually is. A SAS is a URI that grants restricted access rights to your Azure storage resources. At a basic level, a SAS token is a query string parameter that gets appended directly to the end of a storage object's URI. Why do we use them? Because distributing your primary storage account keys is extremely dangerous. SAS tokens give you a secure way to share access without ever compromising those master keys. How does it work in practice? You simply generate a SAS URI and provide it to your clients. Diving deeper, this enables you to grant highly granular access, like allowing a specific application to read a specific blob for exactly 1 hour without giving them the keys to your entire storage kingdom. Let's look at this flowchart to visualize the security boundary. On the left, we have our client application. When it needs data, it requests access using the SAS URI directly against the Azure storage account. Notice the dotted line below it. The client is completely blocked from interacting with or knowing the actual storage account key. Azure Storage independently validates the token, ensuring the permissions and timeframes are correct before granting access. To truly understand a SAS token, we need to break down its anatomy. What makes up a SAS URI? It consists of the base Azure Storage Resource URI, appended with a long string of SAS token parameters. The basics of this query string include specific parameter codes. SD stands for start time, SE is the expiry time, SP dictates permissions like read or write, and SIP locks down the allowed IP address range. Why are these parameters visible in the URI? Because they instruct the storage service exactly what the bearer is allowed to do. How is this secure if anyone can read the URI? That brings us to our deep dive. The final parameter is SIG, which is the signature. This is an HMC signature computed using the SHA-256 algorithm and your storage account key. If a user tries to maliciously alter the expiry time in the URI, the signature will no longer match, and Azure will instantly deny access. This diagram breaks down the structure of a complete SAS URI. At the top, the complete URI splits into two main parts, the base resource URI pointing to the specific file, and the SAS token query string. The token itself fractures into multiple constraints like permissions, expiry time, and IP ranges. Finally, at the bottom, everything is cryptographically secured by the MAC SHA-256 signature, ensuring the token cannot be tampered with. Azure provides flexibility by offering 3 distinct types of SAS tokens: user-delegated, account, and service. First, the user-delegated SAS is unique because it is secured using Microsoft Entra ID credentials rather than the storage account key. This is supported exclusively for blob storage. Second, we have the account SAS. This is secured by the storage key and can grant access across multiple services simultaneously, like blobs, files, queues, and tables. Finally, the service SAS is also secured by a storage key, but is heavily restricted to a single specific resource, like one individual file. For our deep dive, it is critical to know that Microsoft's absolute best security practice is to utilize the user-delegated SAS tied to Entra ID whenever your architecture allows it, as it removes the need to use the master storage keys entirely. This tree diagram perfectly maps our 3 SAS token options. On the left, user-delegated SAS branches down into Entra ID security and its blob-only limitation. In the middle, the account SAS branches into storage key security and its ability to span multiple services. On the right, the service SAS also uses the storage key, but is isolated down to a single resource. So, how do we actually create one? The simplest way is using the Azure portal. You navigate to your storage account and open the Shared Access Signature blade. From here, you visually select your allowed services, target resource types, and the exact permissions your client needs. For the basics, you must set a strict start and expiry date and time, and you optionally lock down the allowed IP addresses. Why use the portal? Because it prevents syntax errors and ensures you configure every security boundary before generating the URI. For our deep dive, at the bottom of this blade, you must choose to sign the token with either your primary key 1 or secondary key 2. This is a vital architectural decision because if you ever regenerate the storage account key you chose here, every single SAS token signed by that key will instantly become invalid. Let's walk through the generation sequence. The administrator starts by opening the Shared Access Signature blade in the portal. They input all the constraints, permissions, expiry, IP limits, and crucially, select the signing key. When they click Generate, the Azure Storage Engine processes the request and returns the secure SAS URI. Remember, the portal will only display this connection string and token to you once, so you must copy it immediately. We need to discuss a major operational challenge, managing ad hoc SAS tokens. What is an ad hoc SAS? It is a token created on the fly where all permissions and expiration times are hard-coded directly into the URI string. While they are great for quick, temporary access, the basic problem is that they cannot be managed after they are issued. Why is this a challenge? Because you absolutely cannot change the parameters once the token is out in the wild. Let's deep dive into a security scenario. If an ad hoc SAS token is leaked, the only way to revoke it before it expires is to delete the file itself or regenerate the master storage account keys. The severe constraint here is that regenerating your master key will instantly break every other system, application, and SAS token that was using that same key. Look at this flowchart to understand the severity of a leaked ad hoc SAS token. When the token is compromised, immediate revocation is required. You hit a harsh fork in the road. You either delete the underlying blob or you regenerate the account key. The massive warning box highlights the consequence. Regenerating the key aggressively breaks all other tokens using it, causing widespread collateral damage. To solve the severe limitations of ad hoc tokens, Azure provides stored access policies. What are they? A stored access policy provides an additional layer of server-side control by decoupling the parameters from the SAS token itself. The basics are simple. You specify the start time, end time, and permissions inside the policy, not the token. Why is this the ultimate solution? Because if a token is compromised, you simply edit or delete the stored access policy to instantly revoke access, all without touching your storage account keys. How do you use them? You configure the policy on your container and then generate a SAS that explicitly references that policy's identifier. A quick deep dive constraint to memorize: Azure enforces a strict maximum limit of 5 access policies per container, queue, table, or file share. This diagram illustrates the elegant architecture of a stored access policy. The SAS token issued to the client app no longer contains hard-coded rules. Instead, it simply references the ID of the stored access policy. The administrator controls the policy containing the permissions. If a threat is detected, the admin deletes the policy, achieving instant revocation of the token without ever rotating the underlying storage keys. Beyond the portal, how else do we manage and generate SAS tokens? Azure Storage Explorer is a powerful cross-platform application that provides a very intuitive GUI for storage operations. To generate a token here, you simply right-click the specific container or blob and select Get Shared Access Signature. It is incredibly easy. But what about automation? You can programmatically generate and utilize SAS tokens using Azure PowerShell, the Azure CLI, or the AZ-copy utility. Why is this necessary? Because in enterprise DevOps pipelines, you need to automate bulk data transfers securely without hard-coding master keys. For our deep dive, if you are scripting a data migration using AZ-copy, you literally append your generated SAS token directly to the destination URI string inside your command line execution to authorize the transfer. This flowchart maps the different operational pathways for SAS generation. An IT administrator can choose the graphical route via Azure Storage Explorer or the programmatic route via the Azure CLI or PowerShell. Both paths result in a generated SAS token. That token is then injected into an automation tool like AZ-copy, which uses it to securely authorize bulk data uploads into Azure Storage. Let's conclude with the definitive SAS security best practices. First, you must always mandate the HTTPS protocol. If a token is passed over HTTP, an attacker can intercept it and gain unauthorized access. Second, always use near-term expiry times. Limit the token's lifespan to the absolute minimum time required to complete the job. Third, as we discussed, use stored access policies whenever your architecture allows it so you can revoke access seamlessly. Fourth, strictly enforce the principle of least privilege. Never give read, write, and delete access if the user only needs read access. Finally, a technical deep dive: always account for clock skew. Server clocks can be slightly out of sync, so it is a best practice to set your SAS start time to at least 15 minutes in the past to avoid immediate, frustrating connection failures. Our final diagram serves as your security checklist. Stemming from the central best practices hub, we have our core pillars: Always require HTTPS to prevent interception, use short expiry times, leverage stored access policies for revocation, enforce least privilege to minimize damage, and always account for clock skew when setting start times. Follow these, and your Azure storage environment will remain highly secure.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by quicktechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material. So this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see these are all Microsoft related certification. AB730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have a 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper. It would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now the third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepared for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.